The currency that everyone is watching today is the euro. The euro had risen above 114 and rejected it for the third consecutive trading day. Now, the reason why this is important is because next week we have the European Central Bank monetary policy announcement, and that could really accelerate the moves in the currency. But taking a step back, at least today, the reason why the euro failed to sustain its earlier gains above 114 is because of the U.S. GDP number. According to the latest report, U.S. GDP growth did slow in the fourth quarter, but the slowdown wasn't as bad as investors or economists had anticipated. So as a result, we actually had a broad-based U.S. dollar rally on Thursday. That drove many of the major currencies lower, including the euro. And that was despite the fact that German inflation numbers are finally moving upwards. Now, we walk into the ECB meeting next week with relatively mixed data. As I just mentioned, the German inflation data is moving upwards, so at least one part of what the ECB watches closely, which is price pressures, seem to be improving. However, economic data in general still remains subdued, with investor confidence, business confidence basically deteriorating from the previous period. There are some green shoots, and the question next week for the European Central Bank is whether they're going to recognize that. And I think, we've heard from Bundesbank President Wiedmann this past week, who said perhaps the economy is not doing as poorly as they had anticipated. That's good news, but I think, since everything is still relatively new, the tone of the ECB is still going to be cautious, and they're going to remind us that no rate hikes are on the table this year. So as a result, I think that rejection of the 114 level in the euro dollar is going to hold. I think it's going to start to move lower from there and maybe make its way back down to 113 and perhaps even lower. So that's what we're watching in the next week for the euro.